Hello, and welcome to A Swift View on Health. My name is Scott Shainvogel, and today I want to talk to you about artificial intelligence in healthcare through the lens of the Heart of Healthcare podcast. I think that the Heart of Healthcare is doing probably the best job of bringing together those individuals that are working hard, building companies, being thoughtful in terms of where healthcare is and where it needs to go. In one of their most recent podcasts, they brought in Eric John Larsen, who was a long-term healthcare expert, spent a really long time at the advisory board company. Advisory board really is a consulting platform. I've worked with a lot in my past. They do a great job helping kind of hospital systems in particular, but broader healthcare companies think about where to go next in terms of their healthcare strategy. Since then, he's worked with United Health and, did a lot of deal work there and has graduated into kind of an investment focus. But he's really made his, kind of core part of expertise right now around kind of artificial intelligence and its impact on the healthcare industry. And in fact, his podcast with the Heart of Healthcare about a year ago won an award for being one of the best healthcare podcasts of the year. And so they brought Eric back to talk a little bit more about how he looked at AI historically, and now that a year had passed, what he now thought. And there were just a couple really interesting points of view that I wanted to share with you today. So one is this concept that artificial intelligence and its impact on healthcare today is primary inflationary. And what that means is that it's costing us more money. So it's not really solving problems. And it's helping providers upcode, get reimbursed more. Payers are using it to maybe increase administrative burden on the system, throwing up kind of more gates more often. But I think that Eric's point is that while that is, in his point of view, absolutely happening today, there's no way that AI will not ultimately be deflationary for healthcare. And really the reason is it's just that healthcare has kind of the largest labor component of really any industry in the US. So $2.9 trillion today. And with such a large labor component, that is obviously a symptom of massive inefficiency across much of healthcare. And so AI, to the extent that it is applied to that inefficiency and to those labor processes, has a real opportunity to bring that down over time. It's just that it's not being applied there today. And as he looks forward, while there is some regret over that we haven't started to see a bigger impact from AI, I think it's clear probably to everyone that that AI will be a dominant element of any healthcare strategy going forward. And Eric's kind of core concept that he wanted to make sure everyone listening understood was that it was not whether or not you could create AI. I think that there's a couple key entities that have built the AI tools. It's really about how well can the rest of us take advantage of those tools and use them. And so that's this concept of not inventing AI or inventing necessarily new types of AI, but more around just taking the AI that has come to the market and diffusing that or spreading that technology in as many places as you possibly can. A couple key things that Eric believes will make an organization successful on that front or not. So one is just, is top leadership and in particular the CEO bought in and really mandating that this is how these businesses are going to operate going forward. Can you as an organization, take AI tools and really embed them in almost every workflow? So it's not just about we're testing or piloting this, or we're trying to build our rules on how we're going to interact with AI. There's a lot of consultants making money on trying to help organizations set up bureaucracy and structure around that. Really, just the focus is, let's take these tools, put them in as many places as we can, start to learn from them. Obviously there'll be things that need to change, but the more that we can do that, the better. And then for the companies that have invented AI, really it's around, and this is a message primarily for large companies in the industry, but how to bring kind of your major platforms into partnership. So that collectively, you can build iterations of that AI that can truly make a difference in healthcare. And just kind of a final, super interesting point that Eric made in this podcast that I wanted to share with you today, just because it was a bit counterintuitive, but it was especially thoughtful. It's just the fact that AI is such a powerful technology. And at least on the clinical side, I think we're already seeing instances where AI can actually diagnose conditions and disease better than humans. But the reason, or one of the main reasons, why we may not see that kind of capability put to good use is that Eric has this question in terms of who is actually going to take responsibility for when those AI tools actually make a mistake. So he's calling that AI medical practice, and the liability around kind of the medical malpractice insurance is really going to be one of the key drivers or gates that we have to go through in order to truly diffuse or spread, this AI into the clinical environment. And clinical is important because clinical is where, the bulk of that $2.9 trillion in labor spend is. And so without kind of the right technology and the right AI to help make that technology more efficient, can healthcare really become affordable or sustainable? But if there is someone who can step up and basically create the platform to take on that liability and really underwrite medical malpractice, this is where Eric believes that company is going to dominate the market and really spur a whole new generation of healthcare capability. Because in his opinion, clinical AI technology is actually not as risky as humans. There is more consistency, more accuracy, more scale, and as such is actually better able to clinically treat than a human is, and thus the medical malpractice risk is lower. So super interesting commentary from the Heart Healthcare team and Eric. Really encourage you to take a listen, pay attention to everything that they have to say in that podcast, because as we work to identify what are these cool new ideas that are out there that are going to change the industry, this is one of them. And this is one of the things that is going to help us move more swiftly. And so, as we like to say at Swift, along those lines, stay cool, find those cool ideas, and use them to move swiftly to make a difference in healthcare. Thank you all for listening.